after a chase across San Antonio. He says he was scared. Judge Boyd says he had time to think. And now, with a deadly weapon enhancement on the table, she decides his fate.
On January 13th, to count 1, guilty. The state waived count 2 without objection. You applied for deferred adjudication.
Okay, pause right here. This isn't just your average road rage incident. This is 2 men, adrenaline pumping, egos flaring. And one of them decides, hey, I've got a gun. Why not escalate this? Judge Boyd is about to school him on consequences.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication.
Deferred adjudication. Translation. The defendant wants a shot at avoiding a conviction if he plays nice on probation. But did you catch that? The state opposes it, and with a deadly weapon enhancement involved, that opposition just got a whole lot heavier.
And there's to be restitution and no contact to the complainant. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report
We have, Judge.
and the TAP evaluation?
We have.
Any objections?
No objections, no corrections or addition.
Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any witnesses, state?
No,
Defense
no, Your Honor.
witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
Only my client, just very briefly.
all right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jason Giovanni Bustos.
All right, defense.
Jason, you admitted
Oh,
when you were here, you admitted in probation that you shot your gun at this other person, correct?
Yes.
And this had to do with on a road, you and another vehicle were playing jockey back and forth, correct?
Yes.
And I want to make sure the judge, the other vehicle was a F-150 Ford pickup,
Yes.
and you had a 95 Ford Ranger, correct?
Yes.
4-speed.
Yes.
And you felt threatened by, is that what you where you felt threatened by the actions of your driver?
Yes.
And here it is, the I felt threatened. Defense. Classic. But here's a question for you. If you're really that scared, is your first reaction to pull a gun? Or to just, I don't know, drive away and live? Let me know in the comments below.
You know now, when you carry guns, things like this can happen. You can overreact. You understand that that's not very smart, right?
Yes.
That's not a smart thing. You overreacted.
Yes.
Have you learned a lesson?
I did.
You think that you could be successful on probation?
Yes.
A lot of reporting, drug testing, fines to pay, community service, maybe some gun safety classes. Think you can be successful here?
Yes.
You have a drug problem?
I do not.
Pass a witness.
All right, any questions?
Mr. Bustos, so, I mean, you stated that you felt threatened by the other drivers on correct?
Yes.
But the encounter that you had with them, it wasn't a short encounter, right? It went on for several miles, correct?
Yes.
And so at any time during that period where you guys are going back and forth with each other, did you ever think to call 911 and to report that you were going to drive the right behavior of this other individual?
I didn't have a phone at the time, an excuse that may have worked in 1998. But let's be honest, even if he didn't have a phone, he had turnoffs, parking lots, and exits. Yet somehow, the option he chose was bullets.
I did not have a phone at the time. Present.
And so, I mean, there are multiple streets where you could turn it off or just went into a business and parked. Did you do any of that?
No, there was heavy traffic during the whole entire incident.
Okay.
My first thought would be going towards the HEV that was right across from the highway, and I couldn't make it across due to just traffic flowing through.
Okay. And so there was heavy traffic in the area for traffic. So the way that you used to reconcile this is to fire a firearm twice. That was your reaction, right?
That was, but that was after when I got away from several of the from the heavy traffic.
Okay. So why didn't you choose to get away from the other vehicle you felt threatened by?
I did try to get away from the vehicle.
But then you still followed them and you shot.
I didn't follow them.
Did not follow them?
No, I was being followed the whole entire time.
Okay. But in the stipulated evidence, it says that the other Ford was taking the turnaround, right, when you fired into the vehicle, correct?
No.
So what we talking about?
When I took the turnaround, there was an HEV. The entrance to that HEV was very close to the turnaround. So instead of proceeding, I decided to go straight. When I went straight to the first light, I decided to go on a right-hand turn lane, and I noticed that the truck was still following me. Once I noticed that, and I checked my rearview mirror, he was already trying to try to jump over the curb to get to where I was headed towards, and I was trying to avoid additional confrontation from him. So instead, I proceeded to go straight.
Now listen closely here. This is where his story starts wobbling. At first, he's running, then he's following, then he's reacting. The timeline keeps bending. This is the kind of moment where judges and viewers start raising eyebrows.
When I got off the right hand turn lane, I went straight when the light turned green to the other light, and I didn't even make it halfway until I almost got into an accident just from trying to drive away. My truck stalled, and that's when I noticed the driver was still proceeding and started tailgating, driving recklessly, maneuvering through cars through the traffic that I left behind. So from there, he caught up to me, and that's when I got scared and overreacted.
Okay. And so I want you to help me understand this, because in your interview that you gave with Detective Brand, it says that he stated that during some of the swerving that you catched up to the other Ford, and that's when the truck slowed down and tried to cut you off. And then
That was in the highway.
that's when you exited and took the turnaround, and then that's when you shot into the other truck. So on the highway, if you had an opportunity to catch up to him, why didn't you just go somewhere else? Did you think that your response was reasonable to shoot into his vehicle?
No, it wasn't.
Let me follow up. I'm well familiar with the location. I live out there. When you exited at the Leon Springs exit,
Yes.
Bernie Stage Road. When you exited there to do the turnaround, it's up a ways and there's no place to turn off. It's a service road. It's very heavily trafficked. And you make the turnaround, there's an HEB on the right hand side, but there's like 3 lanes there when you do the turnaround. There were 2 or 3 lanes to be able to pull into HEB.
Yeah.
Correct. There's too much traffic. As there always is on service road. Correct. So you continue straight. Is that correct? And your truck is a Ford Ranger, a 4-cylinder.
Yes.
When they're talking about catching up with the individual she brought up, did you accelerate to try to catch up?
When I accelerated.
What did you mean by trying to catch up? Or catching up with them?
What happened was, as we were driving forward
On 10.
on 10, he left it alone. I left it alone. I didn't do anything about it. There's no reason for me to catch up. I can't even catch up.
No, yeah, I understand.
Not against with the truck that has 8 cylinders against a Ford 4-cylinder truck. Anyway, I noticed from about a quarter mile, he was already tailgating another vehicle, but then again he starts to pull back dramatically.
Okay. What do you mean by you caught up with him? What do you mean?
I mean that
Were you trying to catch up with him?
I
or
wasn't
just
trying to.
the flow of traffic, you ended up getting ahead of him.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so
Judge,
this
I may
is,
just say this one thing,
yes.
if I may.
Well, just one second, because I want something cleared up for me. in the report, I'm reading the synopsis, and this is what the synopsis says in the stipulations.
BOOM. Here comes Judge Boyd with the breakdown we've all been waiting for. She walks us through the entire escalation like a law. Professor crossed with a detective, and when she gets to the part about brake checking and flashing a gun, yeah, there's no walking that back.
It says that the complainant was in his personally owned vehicle. The suspect was in his vehicle, and the suspect began to brake check him on the interstate. I understand brake checking people because sometimes people are riding your bumper. I understand that. I think it's crazy to do that, but I understand why people brake check, say, hey, quit riding my bumper. So that's not the problem for the court, that you were brake checking him. It says that the complainant decided to pass you and continue on his way. So what the synopsis so far is saying is that you were brake checking him, I guess because he was riding his bumper. And then the complainant decides, you know what, I'm just going to pass this guy. So it says that he passes you, then you caught up to him, pulled up next to him, didn't fire your weapon, but exhibited your weapon to him, and then got in front of the complainant and started brake checking him again. That's where I have a problem. I can understand you're driving